is housekeeping. Awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. What is up, guys? We are excited for another episode. And all my insiders, we want to welcome with us several special guests today. So we got down here, we got Jefferson Lewis the third.
How's it going, guys?
We got James Singh Lee. How are you doing, sir?
Hey. Good evening, everyone.
All right. And I know the man is here somewhere. He's there he is. I got him all different places. There he is. There's Carmichael. Oh, we lost him. Let me go with this one.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Did you switch camera angles?
I did.
That's amazing.
That's what we did. This perfect segue to the
That's right.
conversation.
That's right. Oh, man. So, guys, we are excited about this episode. So much to share. And like I said on when I shared everyone that what we were doing tonight is, you know what, there's so many opportunities for our competitors, our martial artists. And you know what, we want to share about those, but also how, you guys' background from where you started to where you are now and what you got going on. All right. So, Carmichael, if you want to kind of introduce what we are talking about today and then and your relationship with everybody.
No, absolutely. I think it's a instrumental time in our industry. It's been 30 years since our, conversations around, filmmaking here in the United States. There's been a lot of great franchises that have happened in the last, couple of decades with regards to, utilizing martial arts as a way to share expression through film and inspiration with international, superstars. And a lot of them obviously have been built here in the States and they've carried themselves overseas and obviously vice versa, right? Amazing stunt performers and individuals who've come here to give us opportunities and stunts. So I only felt it was right, especially in the new year, to share a couple amazing, initiatives and affiliates and partners on this call today to be able to share this within our sport karate community. But more or less, it's really about these two individuals. I've known James for quite some time, over 30 years. We did WMAC together and obviously won his fourth championship belt for ISKA self-defense championships. And at that time, we were discussing, how do we take that stage and that platform to create fight scenes and sequencing that so it's not your basic one steps in self-defense. And then during that process, a few years later, we had the 20-year anniversary of the 720, and we were able to get your coach and your choreographer, John Valera, there with our community of trickers that were developed in the 2000s era, right? I think a lot of us in different demographics in the country had their own teams, and we all supported each other in the tricking community. And it just so happened that this amazing gentleman, Jefferson Lewis, won that 20-year anniversary and took home his $720. So with that, we're looking a decade later, and these individuals have also embraced me and given me an opportunity to co-produce shows. And I love for James to share what Canon Entertainment is. I know you guys have gotten a glimpse of that with regards to our, legends from WMAC, but that's only one project, right? We also have, these conversations. I want JL to share as well with his upcoming, fight action sequencing seminars and workshops that he's been doing. But more, most importantly, internationally, the way that he's used his background and discipline of wushu, and now not only using three sectional staffs and whip chains and broadswords and straight swords, is he's using the camera and using his disciplines for to contribute to action sequencing and action architecture and design and everything that we not only do as martial arts performers, but how we really bring it to screen. So I'm gonna just pause there, and I'll let you guys, you two, Alex and Jeff, share these individuals. They're here for you.
Awesome.
You did a pretty dang good job with that setup there, Carmichael. I was thinking
know.
about this the other day. Jeff, hasn't Carmichael been like the behind the scenes ambassador of the show almost?
Definitely.
I mean, there's Travis. Travis is the architect with all of it. But I mean,
Right.
well put, Carmichael. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, James, let's start with you. And kind of like based off of what Carmichael just said, share with us just what that next opportunity is and what you have going on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Glad to be here. Glad to see you guys, Jefferson. Great to see you online for the first time together. That's
Yes, sir.
awesome. Awesome. Love hearing the history too, Carmichael. And please don't say 30 plus years too often around me, okay? I'm starting to rack up some numbers here. No, just kidding. Super excited to be here. Canon, some of the history behind Canon and the philosophy is anytime that we try to host some event, whether a live tournament, special event, convention, whatever the case may be, the philosophy for us is always a quality event. And people are like, well, of course, a quality event. But what I mean by a quality event is that it has some type of movie-esque experience. There's some experience there. Secondly, it's always been, what is the award? If we were to have this event, host it, what is the iconic, some takeaway that gets to go home? But third, and this is kind of the difference between Canon and any other live event, is we have a philosophy always, can we film it? Meaning, could it be a TV show? Could it be a film? Would someone want to tell that story? And so anytime that Canon came out of the live event models, because of our film and TV background, we're like, can this live event be a show? And so whatever that talent that we surround that with, or whoever that special guest is, that's got to be that piece. So with that said, when Carmichael started talking about the 30th anniversary of WMAC, we started talking about, well, what would it be like to partner with the World Championship? What would it be like to bring everybody back? You got Chris Casamassa, you got Bridget Riley, you got Christine Bandy, you got Hakeem Alston, etc. Of course, the kid himself, and so much more. Like, what would that look like for the fight scenes of the future? So I'll leave it at that, but that's some of the Canon philosophy of where that was, where it's going, and what we see next.
Nice. Nice. All right, Jefferson, let's share just I mean, what you are currently doing, and then let's go for the background and then to where you currently are now. Mute. Yeah, Jefferson. Let me see if I can do it.
Can you hear me now?
There
we
go.
got you.
There we go. All right, cool. So as a background, I guess I could start with a martial arts background. I been in martial arts since I was 7, now 37, from the Dennis Brown Challenge Shoe Training Center in Silver Spring, Maryland. They run the Capital Classics, and yeah, our area brought out some people, like for sure. But that's my background. I am a 8th degree black belt, master degree from his school, as of about 3 years ago. And as far as film background, I have a film degree, a bachelor's in digital film and video production from the Art Institute of Atlanta about 10 years ago. And I've been in stunts and movies for about the last 8 or 9 years. My first movie, I got tapped in on Avengers Infinity War. I did Black Panther. I went on to do a lot of other movies, doubled some really cool people. Probably the most notable is Jamie Foxx at the end of Day Shift for some really cool wire stunts. I'm definitely a fight guy. And in recent years too, or actually one more credit, is for about 15 to 16 years, I've been a videographer. So like in the small business space or in social media space, content creation space, live event space, and not just like a camera in the back, but actually doing recap videos and things like that. It's something I've been doing for a long time. I edit pretty much every day. I shoot all the time. I've been making fight scenes since I was 14, like in the alleyway with my first camera. Yeah, like that's a lot of what I've been doing. And then currently the last 2 years, after the strike kind of started to happen, I took some savings, bought a couple cameras, got myself some Reds, and started trying to pursue directing, right? Definitely put a lot of money into a short film called The Tailor a while back. I've now directed a pilot that was like an hour long, a couple shorts here and there, and also a movie called College Story, which is like a vertical feature, and which is doing pretty well. It's got like 9 million views. I've had millions of views across all my different social media platforms, from TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well. I've gone viral on all the platforms pretty much. And currently, right now, my personal Instagram page is starting to go through kind of a skyrocket. I've gotten about 16 to 20,000 followers in like the last 3 weeks. It's just moving. And I have been traveling around doing fight scenes with a lot of the stunt communities in different areas, trying to show my skill to the community, because I want to get more work as an action designer and also as a director as well. Get it any way I can, you know what I mean? So that's been pretty big. That's what I got going on.
Awesome. Let's you want me to put your reel out here that we just did? Want to do
You
that now?
should. That
Yeah,
thing-
a lot of the things in this reel,
I want to see it.
Took my everything, gave it all. Then I never had where you are, you got me right through. Said stay to the wall, and I don't believe it's made me go. Gave me wanna go too far from your heart. And I knew that this was love. Knew that this was love. Knew that this was love. Oh my God, stay up. Knew that this was love. And then you stay. Never stray too far from me. I know this Tuesday morning could have said so much pain. Glad I found you in the end. You said stay to the wall, and I don't believe it made me go. Gave me wanna go too far from your heart. And that this was love. That this was love. I knew this love. No. I knew this love. That this was love. Only I knew that this was love. Only I knew this was love. I knew that this was love.
All right.
My goodness.
Man, I'm so inspired.
That's
I'm so
awesome.
inspired. That's so inspired. I always watch it almost like every other day. I watch that reel.
That's awesome.
So
It's just, I'm sorry for interluding. It's just like
Jordan.
it's amazing just to watch his work and watch his growth,
Yeah.
and what better than to be, a martial artist who've come through our background, being able to deliver that level of content, from our community. Obviously, there's other disciplines and time that he's taken, but it's just amazing because I would not want anybody else. Quite honest, I wouldn't want anybody else. There's probably like a handful of individuals I wouldn't want for to shoot me, but I would definitely want him to shoot me, like to revive, to revive generations, to make it
Bingo.
modern. It's like Shaw Brothers 4.0 and Golden Harvest 5.0. It's like the decades have come
Right.
together, and Jefferson has been able to collapse those time capsules very articulately and still picking up a 3-sectional staff. And you know what I mean? And undercutting it behind his back.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't train like that. You guys know that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Once they get to a certain genre, they just stay there. You know, but there's, you know, he does everything, even from the editing to the cut to the sound effects. That's true martial arts, everybody.
Right.
That's what you all
awesome.
have to
Thank you.
aspire to be in this art.
Jefferson, real quick, man, that was awesome. And I want to give you this because the old guy in the room here, but I was with Jet Li, right? I fought with Jet Li. I've been on set watching Chow Yun Fat on Replacement Killers, and I was a Kung Fu background guy, right? So it's really cool for me to see you've got this Hong Kong film style, but you got the old school, you got the Kung Fu tradition, but you got new school. I love it, man. So that really cool encapsulation of all of these different sectors, like you're really bringing it into the new era, man. Very cool.
Thank you. Much respect to all you guys as well for the things you're saying. Yeah, that was also just a culmination of the last 4 months of like the traveling around I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
And also trying to hone in on that like new school style as well of shooting, and
Yeah.
which does require you to be able to direct it, be able to edit it, be able to shoot it, and kind of be in the same room or be the same person for the most part, because it all has to marry well. So to make that style work. And shout out to a guy named Resound Studio. His name's Tony. He actually did all the sound design for everything that you saw in that reel. So although I can't do it, it's been nice to have somebody who can knock it out. So
Yeah.
Well, so I got a question about that, Jefferson. Did you help choreograph some of that as well?
I choreographed all of it.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So this is I wanted to comment first. The whole thing, I'm watching it. I'm like, what? Right. So the cinematography in there was fantastic, because if at first I try to look at things just from a normal consumer, like I'm just watching what's designed to show me whatever. And then as I start to get impressed, now I watch it from a different vantage point. And I'm like, well, let me see the choreography. All right. Well, obviously, like that looked amazing because of the way the slow motion effect of the cinematography with that. Your cinematography really elevated what was actually happening. All right. I thought it was awesome, but some of the stuff looked relatively basic, which is important for non-martial art experts to view. If all they see is the most difficult, most complex thing, they can't recognize with that. Now it's a whole nother thing that they don't even know what it is. Right.
You know how people come from demo team and they have to like, and you have people who it's like, okay, let me have you do the best thing that you can do. Same thing, you know?
Bingo. So, but I liked a lot. I liked all the cinematography, but there were just certain points where I'm just like, it's still seared into my mind that I can pick up from what the reel was. I thought it was amazing. So, what kind of projects that you've been on that we might know? Is there anything that you were like, you know, I did a little bit of work with yada da da?
Well, like I said, of course, Avengers was the biggest thing that I've been on. I got to be a character for a little bit on Mayor of Kingstown. Died on that. Day Shift was still the biggest one. I did Samaritan. I got to work with Sylvester Stallone. Got sledgehammer into like a thing. I got to get stabbed and sidekick to the chest by Scott Adkins on Day Shift. That was cool.
That's right there.
That was probably.
Because we all recognize that Scott Adkins he's a legit martial artist, right?
Yeah.
And I felt the martial
he
arts.
does these.
I
Right.
did. Yeah. No, if I could tell that for a second, like there's another guy, Eric, and me and Eric get like skewered as vampires together, right? And so he stabs us and like takes the scabbard out, slices our heads off, puts it back in, kicks me. We both fall. And when he tells the story, he's like, "Yeah, I felt his kick through you." Like it was because it was a wide angle, so he had to give me some. And so he does the kick, bam, and he's like standing there for a moment, and they go cut. And he goes, "You good?" Like I'm just on the bottom, like, "Yeah, I'm tough." Like you got to be a stunt guy, but yeah, that happened.
Oh man.
Man. What's the worst hit you've taken being a stunt guy?
Ratchet to a car. It's like kind of not blowing up, but there was a pop on it. I took a ratchet to a car in Budapest, and there was about 45 minutes of argument, unfortunately, about the shot, which adjusted the stunt from what it was originally, right? Literally maybe like 5 inches to the left, right? But that 5 inches put the door handle right into my kidneys, right? It hurt. I had to go. Luckily, it didn't rupture. I had to go to the hospital, get checked out. They ultrasound me, everything. I ended up being okay. But I was walking around like kind of slow for the next 2 weeks. That was probably the worst bump that I got. Outside of rolling my ankle on day shift, that was pretty bad too. But yeah.
James, how about you, sir? Yeah, how about you? I want to
stunt wise. Oh man, I don't know. I think sudden terror when we took the bus off the bridge with Wall's team. I think that's probably the craziest thing I've ever done.
Speak on that.
Well,
off the bridge.
So you guys know Rick Roman Waugh. He directed Greenland for Gerard Butler, and years ago he had me as Michael Paul Chan's double, taking the bus off the bridge with Gloria Fioramonte. But I remember it was like a 1 month prep. Like every day was like drive the bus up the pass and stop up the pass each day. And then finally we're getting closer and I was like, oh man, we're really going to do this. And we driving the bus and I remember it going off the overpass and I was like, all I saw was blue sky. And I was like, oh, this is really wild. I'm in a bus off of a bridge and it had this cabling of my right to the bus side, the left, and then all the way back. So I could kind of be like a marionette in there. But then all of a sudden the bus was looking at all blue and then you could feel the engine weight turning the bus. It's starting to come down now. And I remember for just a moment going, what have I done? So that's probably the craziest thing I think I've ever think back.
Oh my gosh. Oh, my heart was like right down in my gut right as I was hearing you say that.
I know.
I can feel the airtime with that.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy times.
Oh man.
But that kidney thing though, Jefferson, that freaks me out. That's freaky.
Yeah.
That is.
That one sucked. That was probably the stunt that sucked the worst.
Yeah.
Because you still got to be the tough guy. Because if you're like, oh man, I need a couple days, you might be out of a job.
Yeah, I it's funny because I in the moment it hurt. You know how you kind of do a move to check. Yeah, I remember after I fell, I kind of moved and I was like, oh god, I kind of let out a little. I just stayed, and they were, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, no, I'm good. As I'm taking my harness off to kind of let the coordinator know that I'm not, And when we walked away from it, the guy who was oh shoot, he's gonna kill me. I can't remember his name right now. But either way, the coordinator, he took me to the side after we got away from everybody. He's like, okay, you can let it out now. I was like, okay, yeah, it hurts. It's bad. Once we were away from all the people and stuff,
Oh
yeah,
man,
that's the thing.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I want to give some background, just the impact of the DMV area. So I want to share a story about just how Jefferson and I met. And honestly, his impact on me, which a lot of people may not know. I mean, honestly, for Jefferson Lewis, what people don't say, what he didn't say, at one point, he was one of the top 5 trickers in the world. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And this dude was amazing martial artist and amazing tricker. And obviously he's taken that to the next level. But around, I guess we finally met in 2009 and I went up there to that area and there were some gatherings going on. And I just went up to, do something different for me. And at this point, honestly, 2009, I had just opened my school the year before. I was kind of in this thing of thinking maybe I was done. I was not going to be doing martial arts or competing anymore. Right. And I tell you what, man, the vibe and energy that I got from those guys there, especially Jefferson, especially guys like Emerson Lewis, Javier, all those guys, it sparked something in me to really just think of it as something different, because again, for you guys to know me, I was never the tricker. And so I'm thinking that, man, I go to this tricking thing and everyone's going to hate on me. They're like, because sometimes you get that. There was the kickers, right? Because I was kicking, right? And guess what? That whole group there, just were like, we love what you're doing here. Come back and do more here, do a seminar here, do this and that. And it
That's
really
so
just
dope.
sparked me to go to a whole nother level. And then honestly, if people don't know, that was when everything kind of turned around for me as far as in my sport career. And I really like, I put a lot of that with you guys, that DMV group that, you know, even I'm part of the DMV, but I'm way Southern, right? But still that new era of the DMV group that really was, at that point from 2009 to, I would say 2016, the DMV area was just on fire in the tricking community. So I just want to say thank you for that, and share a little bit about that, Jefferson.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot that. Yeah, I ran one of the biggest gatherings in the country for like 3 years. That happened. That happened too.
I would have never forgot.
Yeah, it was called Epic, the Epic Gathering. At a clothing brand. I was partnership with a guy, really cool guy named Twan, and he ran all the apparel stuff. I ran the gatherings. The first year, that 2009 year, I asked the community who they wanted to fly out, and everyone said unanimously that they wanted to fly out Hans Weekling. So rest in peace, Hans. He came out to the very first one. Yes. And it's crazy too to hear your feelings about it, Jeff. Like, because even to think like, oh, I'm not tricking or a tricker. Like back then, definitely most of us in the DMV were martial artists heavy. So you were moving like however we all wanted to move. You were like, you could actually manipulate your kicks in ways that we were like, we can't even play with that. You know what I mean? Like you're doing like tornado kicks kicking this way. And I'm like, like, so no, it was really cool to hear your perspective. But that also was a really interesting experience, traveling around with, at the time, like $20 in my pocket, sleeping on people's like couches, just to trick with other trickers in the community, and to teaching seminars, like just making samplers. And that was a really big influence on my videography career, because one of the biggest reasons I started using the camera often was tricking. There's a page called Classic Tricking that exists right now. They're posting all these like old videos, right? You know, like I feel like a good 60% of those are my videos. Like I recorded that, I recorded that, I recorded that. Like all the time I see a page, something go up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was my camera. I have that raw footage somewhere. But yeah, that was a big influence for me in video too, is knowing where to put the camera for a trick, you know? So which helps me, like, you know, vice versa. But yeah, that was a pretty awesome time, dude. It was cool to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, you were dope.
I appreciate it, brother.
So wait, so that page, that channel, Classic Tricking, most of those vids are yours?
There's a bunch. If it's out the country, wasn't me. But most of the stuff that's like from either, there's like been Loop Kicks videos, there's been DMV videos, there's been like videos that I was like, oh, that's my camera, or like New York videos, especially a lot of the East Coast stuff. Every once in a while, I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yeah. So what made you fall in love with the other side of the camera?
As in like to recording?
Yeah, because when we started martial arts, we all in some way, shape, or form envisioned ourselves on the visual side of the camera.
Yeah.
But not everybody has a passion and desire to be on the other side of the camera. So that's why I was wondering, like, where did that passion come from?
So I think that I wanted to be, just like you said, on camera. Right. And so nobody would give me my footage. So I said, well, I'm just going to record myself. So I started figuring out how to use DV tapes at the time, and like record myself training and tricking. And eventually that led to, I have a camera, and then someone's asking me, hey, can you do this ad for my club? And I'm like, oh, sure, I'll do this video, whatever. And then eventually someone else says, can you do this ad for my business? And then there's a place I think some of you guys know, Ish Payne and Martial Posture.
Yes.
Ish Payne gave me my first actual payroll check for a video ever. And I did like a hell of a dance in the kitchen when I got it, because I was like, this is a check. This is not $20. Like, this is a check. It was $300. And I drove up to Philadelphia from DC and recorded like I think a commercial and an ad for Martial Posture, and also the event Trichadelphia at the time. And then I started doing multiple reoccurring things with him. So, but it was birthed from me wanting to see my own work and improve. I wanted to improve, and without improvement, I was like, I can't see myself, so I don't have anything. So yeah, so that was what kind of got it started, and then it leaned up, went from there.
So wait, so first, hang on. So you started to get to where you were by really doing the hardest part of videography, which is doing it without anybody actually behind the camera.
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah. And stunts too, which honestly I felt like was a starting over from tricking. Like Jeremy Reed said this one time, he was like, I feel like going to stunts is like graduating from tricking. And you have to go to a different school now. In the beginning, a lot of people, nobody wanted to film with me because they felt I was green, right? It's like, I don't care if you film stuff, whatever. Like, until one day I got really pissed off because nobody would. And I went into the field and just tripoded up and just recorded myself falling. By the way, very green. I didn't own any pads, nothing. I don't know any better. And I'm doing like HKs, back falls, everything.
On like falling into.
And like just on the ground, You can hear it on the first back fall too. It's like, oh, the wind's gone out of me. It was bad. And but doing that, everyone was like, oh, yo, I see you're doing it. You're trying to do stuff. I'll come be in your thing. And like that helped a lot. This was like 2015 at the time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You fell into the earth.
Yeah. Hard. Yeah. And of course I could trick too. So I'm doing like HKs and 3/4 like into the ground. Like I'm trying. Like I was being try hard for real. Yeah.
Whoa.
I love
That
it.
was the thing.
Oh man. So James,
That's
what do
damn
you
impressive.
what do you think about hearing all this? What does it bring back some memories for you, or what?
Well, first I want to say this though, because I think Alex brings up a great point about Jefferson, is that you don't want to miss this if anybody's listening out there, because it's one thing to do stunts, another thing to do martial arts, but the passion to get behind the camera, that is its own discipline. It's another school. And so the fact that Jefferson is mastering these various schools and it says a lot about you for starters, but it's also the passion to be a filmmaker, like a storyteller. Like you're doing it with your body, you're doing it with your mouth, you're doing it with your mind. You can't miss that, everybody. Like to be behind the camera is a totally different school. So that's super impressive.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll say too, I did step away too from stunts for a little bit, like on the film side, to just film drama just to say I could do it, because it is its own thing. Directing is not just the fighting and stuff. It is storytelling for sure. And it's been a learning curve for sure. And it's been nice because I feel like what you just saw earlier was me getting back to action. Like, because I was over there in like drama world for a while where, figuring out like, how do I talk to my actors differently? How do I set up my treatments? And there's a whole bunch of like back end stuff I had to figure out and learn. I learned all the AD work for sure. Studio Binder is my best friend, but so it definitely is its own discipline. And I never thought of also the way that Carmichael said it, as the camera like it's a weapon, like actual extension of the arm weapon. I was like, oh, I kind of in a way, yeah. You know what I mean? It can be like an extension, at least as far as like, if you actually see me when I'm recording, there's a lot of like footwork and stuff that's natural from, we could be like, oh, this is Bagua a little bit, right? I could say this step is a certain way. I don't know. You kind of clicked something in my brain saying that, but yeah.
Well, do you have any like footage of you? I mean, it sounds crazy to say this out loud, but do you have any footage of you getting footage?
Yeah, me filming, I do. I have plenty. That's actually what's been going viral the most.
I was just gonna ask that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I've been showing stuff like the behind the scenes and then showing what I shot. And there's been a lot of
like how you shot it.
Right, like how I shot it. And there's been a lot of comments that are like, oh, I thought it was gonna suck, and then you just did something crazy. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So what are those channels? So we can go ahead and shout that out now while we're on that topic.
Okay. My main channel is Jefferson Lewis Official. That's the one that's like blowing up right now. And my other channels are all Fight Scene Machine on everything. So
Fight scene machine. That's right. Okay, both of those. All right.
Why do you
Awesome.
think it blew up so much recently?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because I did a short film in June 1st, right? And I was working on it and I made it good, but I got to a point where I said, you know what? I need to break through and like make it better than I would normally make something, if that makes sense. Like I need to just go beyond a little more like my tired threshold, right? And from doing that, I was working with Rory Bratter and Q. And Rory Bratter in particular was really cool enough to come out, and he's like 41. He's moving like he's 20, and kind of give himself to that particular project, right? And it was a small section of that fight from the final day that I did not want to schedule. It was supposed to be a one-day shoot, it ended up being 4. And the 4th day, I just didn't want to do this thing, but I knew I just had to kind of give it a little more. That video came out, got 70,000 views, right? Just that section as like a this is coming, which is funny why we talked about that earlier. I said, oh, this, I did a releasing soon, showing a small part of the fight. That blew up the fight. And then some of my other videos started catching wind a little bit. And I just looked at my numbers and I said, well, I posted about 20 reels or so in November, right? And everything was kind of blowing up. And I said, well, what if I just doubled down? I started posting 3 times a day. I started posting stuff from 7 years ago, fights that just reposting stuff that had just resurfaced. I used the excuse of, well, I got some new followers, so they haven't seen it. I'll just post a lot. So I posted 113 times in December. And that was like, and there was about like a good 11K that I got just in December. And then I had about one video do like 700,000, another one do 1 million. No, 2 million. Another one do it's about to hit 1 million now.
Nice.
Like just it started just a snowball effect, and so a lot of stuff started kicking in, and I found the rhythm of what worked as far as what people were appreciating for my page, and it was that BTS versus the real thing that has been really killing it. So
Jefferson, do you think the people that are following you are, what would you say the percentage of the buckets are? Martial artists, filmmakers, stunts, just people? What is their affinity to some of the stuff that you're doing?
For sure, filmmakers heavy. Now I already had kind of a martial arts following and a stunt following. The networks I'm already tapped into.
Sure.
But I've noticed a lot of cinematographers and things like that popping up. I'll say it online. I'm very proud to say this, but I saw Michael Bay follow me the other day. So I'm like kind of hype about that. If you ever see this,
thumbs up.
Hey, 2 thumbs up. I appreciate that. But a lot of filmmakers are following me back. And strangely, some music artists are following me back now that like for some reason, martial arts seems to translate to me doing music videos, and I've never really done any, which is interesting. Everyone wants me to do a music video for them. Yeah. But a lot of artists, music artists popping up. Like Busta Rhymes followed me also randomly. So it's been interesting. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Do you ever just sit back and go, Busta what? Busta followed me?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly how I reacted. That was my exact. What? Yeah.
Alex, you're talking about Busta. I'm still thinking about Jefferson falling on his back in the backyard. I'm feeling it, man.
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember doing something like that once as a joke. And even then, I can remember exactly how I felt. And I was like, that is one of the dumber things I've ever done in life. But you took that as I'm not going to wimp out on this thing. I'm just so impressed that you probably did it 300 more times and got it on video. Wow.
I did it enough. We'll say I did it enough. Enough to feel it and have it recorded. So.
All right. So while we're here and to kind of wrap it up, I want to hear, what each of you guys are doing and where you feel like current sport karate competitors have an opportunity to take their to the next level as far as either in the fight scene industry or again just growing their following on social media. So James, what do you got for us?
Well, from the championship, Carmichael and I and some of the guys, we've been talking about this fight scene challenge, this live event of some of the best fight scenes in the world. We want to bring production to it in the sense of, remember what I said with Canon, we want to have always some prize. Like some of the events that we've had, we've given away, motor scooters, some of this connection we're like, what if we could give a car away? Like, what would it look like to have like real prizes in the sport of martial arts? So if you take some of that segment out of there, take some of that talent in martial arts, add the movie element, but what if we had an incredible prize and then make it a show? Hey, that's what we could see next. So that's what we've been throwing around a little bit. So we'll see if it sticks, but I think that's the next step for our team. Yeah.
That's awesome. So maybe if not this year, maybe in 2027, is that where
we're still hoping for this year, honestly. We've had events that are very close to this. And so we've even had Carmichael and I were talking in a meeting yesterday, or 2 days ago, just about, we were even thinking about letting go some of our other events to go, should we go all in on this? Because, for us, for production, whether it's making television, film, commercial, and then obviously promoting live events, it's like, this seems like the next logical step. You got guys like Jefferson where we could get behind someone like this, and then what if we brought the finance, the production, a prize, like a vehicle, like you're talking another level, right? So for the overall sport. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I love that. I won a motorcycle once. That's still the best thing I've won.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
and we've talked about that moment like a lot of times, because it is like, you can't make this crap up. You want a freaking motorcycle? When people hear that, they're like, no, you didn't. You mean like a bicycle? No.
Right.
Yeah.
So, James, I got something to lean in on with you, because I was pretty impressed lately of those interviews that you were doing. I thought those things were gold, man. Now, all that took place, was that at the U.S. Open?
Yeah. What's crazy about those, it was on the fly. Carmichael and I were like, you know what, let's just throw this down right now, right on the spot. It was not scripted. I just had Darius Westmoreland's team throw down the mic. I got behind the cam. I said, Carmichael, just bring everybody in and like, let's interview cast and crew of WMAC. So, Ryan Watson was there from Mandalorian all the way to Chris Casamassa, and just it was super cool, man. But a lot of fun. So thanks for seeing that.
Yeah. Well, I thought your questioning, your energy, and obviously, like, what it's like on both sides of the camera too. So even though what people are going to see and what tiny little mannerisms, I think you're great. I don't know, which is why I'm always all over the place every single week.
Well, you're very kind. You're very kind. But let me say this real quick, Alex, though. When you say that, I think that's the gift. I really feel like it's a gift that God has given me, because I see, even in like this show right here, like I see Jefferson and I go, how does a guy like Jefferson get framed? Here's a guy who knows Kung Fu, who did film, but he's pushing the bar of what is next. I'm always curious about who's going to push the bar of what is next. I was in, to give you context, Jefferson's talking about Infinity Wars. I was in Marvel, what they call Marvel #1, right? I fought Wesley Snipes in Blade. Okay. That's what most people say is Marvel 1. Now, when I say that, though, with Jefferson in Infinity, I say to myself, but what's after Marvel? And I believe guys like Jefferson are going to show us and tell us, and we're going to be part of that ride and have a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah. That's still crazy to think. I love what you said, James. But that's what you guys get to talk about. Like when Jefferson, when you're like, yeah, I took one of the chests from Scott Atkins. You took one of the chests from Wesley freaking Snipes. This is amazing.
That's really cool, by the way.
That is cool. All right, Jefferson,
brother
what about you?
also like geeking out for that one. It's like, dang.
Oh man.
Maybe you didn't take one of the chests. Now I got to go back and watch it. What did he do? How did you?
Spin hook kick
to kill you, but how'd you die?
Spin hook kick and then a sword.
Okay.
Nice.
You guys ever do that? You guys ever just get together with each other? Hey, I got this script. How are you supposed to die? This is how I die.
Hey, real quick on Blade. One funny thing about Blade is they had all these vampire fangs.
Yeah.
And I remember people getting hook kicked and like bam. And one guy, he got hook kicked so hard his fangs came out and they hit the ground. I thought, man, that'd be so awesome if that was actually in the final cut. But it never ended up in there.
That's funny.
That's so
Thanks
cool.
out.
That's cool. Jefferson, how about you? Where do you see the next step and for sport martial artists or martial artists to take that next step?
Okay. A couple things that I see going on. One, AI is a thing. So I'm curious how this is gonna what this is gonna do. Because there's some people that think it's gonna take money away. I'm one of the people that thinks it's gonna maybe double or even triple your money in different ways. And be something that allows for us to have safer performance, by doing things like replacement or you can do the stunt just into a big old pad and it's not gonna matter. We can turn that into you going through a wall, those are the kind of things I think about. But the medium of film, I think, is changing to, one of these,
Yep.
a lot
Yeah,
of things
that
are
makes
going mobile, vertical films are now recognized by SAG. And I think that's going to create a lot of opportunity for people like me who are like indie filmmakers, like people who don't have necessarily like the biggest budgets and everything, but people who can grab their friends together and make a thing and make it cool. That's available to us now. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can make your own app. It's very doable. You can make your own platform. You don't have to be in any of these other platforms like you used to in the past. There's no real gatekeeping behind distribution. You can be the whole house now. So I'm curious what houses we end up seeing in the future and who rocks them. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Dude, hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what to expect today. I knew it was going to be a lot of fun, a lot of information. And I tell you what, man, like this has been epic. I had to throw that in there, this has been a great show. So yeah, I mean, Carmichael, come back in for a little bit, man.
Yeah,
And just
no, for sure.
thank you for bringing bringing this concept with us to share. I know we talked about having James on, and then you called me yesterday and said, "Hey, what about bringing on Jefferson?" I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it was funny is Jefferson didn't even know this was my show, and he gets
Yeah,
on.
Carmichael didn't tell me it was you. I was obsessed. Hey.
I was like, wait a minute, this is what the heck? Yeah, so we kind of had a fun time, just honestly being excited to see each other because it's been a while. So
No, it's great, and that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we've all done the work, and we put the time in, right? So, if I had to give anything back to the sport karate community, is really two things: is continue to train, continue to develop your style, right? You not just one style, learn multiple styles. I would also encourage everybody to, as you guys might be aware of, change your form every 3 months, please. Don't do the same sequencing.
Oh yeah.
Give yourself enough choreography so when you get, when you're put on set, you're not, that you're prepared, that you're not doing the same, counts. Also, count 8 counts. Listen to a lot of music and make sure your timing is right. So I think for the sport karate community, evolve your choreography and stay in rhythm and in timing. I would also encourage anybody in Orlando area. There's a brand new facility. Fortress Hill has been open, and James Lee is running another sector of his business. And if you want to do a quick plug, Jefferson, on your March, workshop, I think there's a limited amount of seats. But if you share with the people here, if you're in that region, let them know a little bit about the workshop here in March, please.
Yeah, I can do that real quick. So yeah, because there's a lot of questions and a lot of people like requesting I do something that shows the style of what I do and that kind of thing. I'm always into doing things for the community, but I don't do seminars a lot. I'm gonna do a few workshops. I'm gonna be also taking this workshop on tour around the different cities. Like probably gonna go to LA, probably gonna go to London, probably gonna go around and do it. And it's an intensive, the one I'm doing in Atlanta right now in March. It's going to have your typical stunt seminar in the beginning. So about 2 hours of just raw understanding, reactions, timing, that kind of thing, performance, how to move, how to be aware of the camera. Then the next part of it, we take 30-minute break. There's another 2 hours. We're going to do just the basics of filming. So like understanding like master shot, mid shot, how to counter action, like traditional filming of action, right? Then we'll take another break. Then I have a whole 2 hour block that's just on the style that I've been creating here. Like this thing that I've been working on with all the slow-mo stuff, with the actors moving slow, this kind of faux boat action kind of cam thing that I've got going on. And then the last part, another 30-minute break. We're going to do a 2 hour editing session. I'll have you guys actually sit in with me and I'll be editing. You can get these seminars individually, or you can have a day pass for the whole thing. So that is up on my Instagram at the top. I got a Posh link for anybody to be able to register. And there's only, I think there's 15 spots left. I'm only taking about 20 spots. So, yep.
Nice.
Seminar.
That's sick, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
And
thank you guys.
Where
so
can
much.
people get in touch with you again, Jefferson? I'm sorry, Jeff.
Jefferson Lewis Official is my Instagram. I answer it like it's my text message. So I read everything. You can hit it up.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. And, we are excited already to have you on again. All right. So thank all you guys so much, and keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring. All right.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. That was
Dude,
sick,
that was
right?
awesome. How cool is that?
I know.
I mean, first of all, during Jefferson's promo, just like I can't even call it a promo. I feel like I watched 2 movies, right? And I was over here like, what in the world? That's so cool, right? And I don't think James is. I know part of the reason why James's those interviews went so well. He speaks very well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a very good, but this is also why he was good on camera as well. All right. When you don't last that long in that kind of industry if you're not that good. So
Correct. Correct.
He does a very, very good job.
Definitely. So yeah, that was fun. Reach out to those guys, check them out on social media. And if you are interested in anything that anything that's in that realm, like reach out to them first. Even if you can't make it to their events or their, things right now, like talk to them. Start asking questions and reaching out to those people and start growing your circle. You know what I mean? Because that's how you get started, is meeting people. So, all right. So we got a big week.
Speaking of impressive martial artists.
What's up?
Said speaking of impressive martial artists.
Oh, right. So we got a big week coming up with AKA Warrior Cup. It's going to be a lot going on. Before we just talk about just a little bit before that, the weekend and all the big news that is coming up in the martial arts world, I do want to give just a shout out and just a prayers to the family of Leo Creer. Leo Creer was one of the greatest point fighters from California, from the West Coast, and we found out yesterday he passed away. This guy, we've talked so many times about people that maybe were from the West Coast that didn't get as much love or shine because they weren't around here as much, right? So that would be one of them. That guy has beaten everybody. Like he's beaten Tony Young. He's beaten these fighters, from the East Coast, from the West Coast, and into his 40s, and was on Sherman Oaks Raiders and several teams in the late 80s. And
did it for a long time.
Various best, I think he was on like the Kenai and Outlaw team. So dude was definitely a legend. And so definitely want to give him a shout out, and everyone that's just, real close to him as well. So definitely want to just make sure you guys keep him and his family and friends in your prayers. Yeah,
sad loss that, not just the martial arts community, but the world had, with that loss. But, if there's anybody, I I didn't know him, well, we didn't have like a, kinship or anything like that. But if anybody's got like a great, Leo career story, like boom, throw it in,
Yep. Yeah. And we may, over the next month or so, maybe have someone on to share some things as well, because
Absolutely.
again, guys, our show is always, it's not like, oh, well, you can't be on this week, so it's done. No, like we have a lot going on,
Oh, yeah.
and there's so much time. So already I've got people booking for next month and March. So, of course, next week is going to be a very Warrior Cup heavy week. And depending on how big it is, it may be 2 weeks, like you guys know, because it is the kickoff of the season.
Yeah.
And then we also, one of the new big news that is coming out, and more details are going to be coming out Wednesday, but Adidas put out today that it will be partnering and starting a new traditional Taekwondo league. Okay, so this is going to be something that I've known about as well, and I'm excited to bring the guys that are going to be leading that on here in the future as well to talk about that. So that more details on what that's going to look like, what the circuit's going to look like, and their involvement with Adidas and also the sport martial arts world will be coming on as well. So I'm excited about the future of that and what that brings as far as opportunities to, bridge some gaps that we have with Taekwondo, sport martial arts, and also traditional Taekwondo. So that's going to be exciting.
What I find interesting, I mean, Adidas is the biggest, name, that's in martial arts, right? Adidas is probably the biggest, right? And Adidas has been there for decades and decades and decades in Taekwondo. But I always thought that was kind of interesting because isn't Adidas like, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they were like a German owned company.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Isn't there any like Korean big name companies? Like, come on, Hyundai. All right. This is your national sport. Let's get behind this thing. No?
I don't know, man. There's a lot going on. So I don't really know on all those details. But yeah, I mean, you're right on that. They are definitely one of the biggest name, or the biggest name, that kind of cross into different brands of sport. So it's pretty cool to be working to see what's going to be happening with that. And we'll have more info on that pretty soon. And yeah, Europeans love Adidas. Yes. I still rock my Adidas shell toes. All right. But
the shell toes, like it's 1998, dude. That's cool.
It's 1988. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point too. 1988, I wasn't wearing shell toes. In 1998, I was for sure.
Yeah, I was, and also in the 2000. I always wear them. All right, another big thing. Tomorrow, just letting everybody know, there's going to be some big news on the sport martial arts world. So tomorrow there'll be some releases on some things, and you know what? I think it's going to be exciting, man. Just get ready for this 2026 year. Is going to be entertaining, interesting, and lots of fun. Get your popcorn out. What are you ready to see? Even though you won't be there, but to watch.
Well,
this week, but also at AKA.
Let's just rewind what you just did right there.
Yeah.
Right. Let's unpack that. Okay. Because what he basically just did, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff just basically said, I've got a whole bunch of news that nobody's got, and I'm not telling yet. That's what you just did. All right. How you gonna say all this big news is me big things happening? And man, is it gonna be? It's because you know what it is, Jeff. You didn't even tell me. That's how you know this guy can keep us. He don't even tell me nothing. We're supposed to share info together.
I gotta keep secrets, man. I gotta do it sometimes.
All good. I am I'm always curious to see who wins the Warrior Cup. Right? You win the Warrior Cup, man. Do you just like you can have a bad 3 tournaments after the Warrior Cup. Or if you competed in those and you were like, you win the Warrior Cup, but like the next 3 stink it up. you're
Right.
doing okay because you got a freaking Warrior Cup, right?
Right.
So you're not really all that down on yourself. So then you're able to like perk yourself back up because it's bigger than winning other events, right? If you win that one, you're the only guy. And so many others, like there's a lightweight and there's a heavyweight overall. But if you win the Warrior Cup, it's bigger than, hate to say it, but it's bigger than the diamond right now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's gonna be exciting. If I had a prediction, I don't know, from the lightweight or the heavyweight, I could see something crazy like Christian Rivas winning the Warrior Cup, and that's not like crazy,
No,
but everyone's gonna, almost everyone's gonna be there, right? I'm gonna say
Right.
everyone, and then there's gonna be like 2 key people that are gonna be like, oh my gosh, they're the best in the world. How'd they not go? I know, but like, dude, Avery Plowden's still Avery Plowden, and Avery
Yep.
Plowden's still freaking amazing. And it's like every time you see him, he gets better and better. Last time I saw him fight, I was like, he actually might be the best in the entire world. He might be the best in the world. His skills keep leveling up, right?
Right.
This guy somehow grows muscle, right, without losing pounds, right? and he's so much smarter, right, than the majority of the people that he fights. And the talent keeps getting better and better on the lightweight side of things. But I mean, I could see something nutty like that, like Christian Rivas winning the Warrior Cup. I think
That's a good one, especially with him being the new pickup. So
yeah, man, who knows? Maybe he's not even going to be there. I think for the women, yeah, the women could be interesting.
yeah, I mean, it depends if Katana will be there. She has not been there the past 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
But Katarina has won the past 3 years, I think. So
Yeah,
that's huge.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly. Like, I mean, between them, Katana's got the hand here. But I mean, Katarina's won. That's kind of her tournament. So like, even there was like even one where she didn't win her division, but she won the open weight, so she got herself in and then still won. So it's almost Katarina in the Warrior Cup, isn't it almost kind of like Trevor in the Diamonds?
Yeah.
Where there was a streak where like the only person to beat Trevor at the Diamonds was Jason Borelli, and one of them, he didn't think the diamond was that big a deal.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
so
crazy.
this is kind of her thing. So it's I don't know. I would say Katarina. I think so, the tournament.
Let's just go into this of like, who's one person that maybe you think could, if there was someone else who could be that surprise person, right?
I got a dark horse for you.
Yeah, there's
a dark horse. I forget her last name. Yasmina.
Yeah.
Because it's not local, but it's local enough that you're from the Michigan area and you're fighting like in Chicago. Like they get up for that, right? And she's been leveling up. I think
really well last year at this tournament. She actually won the middleweight side grand. The
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
think
the past 2 years, Yamina has made it into the finals against Katarina. You know what?
Oh, yeah. There was like one where it was like, I thought she was going to pull it off.
Yeah. And she won the women's overall last year. So it's definitely, those two had that. Another person who continues to get better is Paula, right? So, and again, she just continues to get better. And I think she has a style that can beat some of these ladies. So
I think on the women's side of things, the draw and the draw is so important for the women's side, right? Because there's 4 divisions, right? One off like unexpected division winner can throw everything off, right?
Yeah,
And it
correct.
doesn't mean that like, all right, well, we didn't expect this person to win that division. I guess the other side, they're going to have an easy route. It's the matchups also. Like it can go totally sideways real quick because of that. With the guys, there's so many more divisions that one guy who you totally didn't expect to win, like maybe they would take third place, they win the division, and now the matchups are, even if the matchups like, oh, they go in his favor, there's still a whole nother set. Like that doesn't mean you just won everything, right? There's so many divisions. So
yeah. Oh, there's one more thing too. Like we get to see the debut of Apia in the adult women's division, and see, she's been one of the most dominant junior fighters, and now she's moving up. And here's the deal. She's doing everything. She's doing it seems like even more divisions than she did as a junior. Okay. She's going all out. And here's the deal. I feel like when you move up to adults, you kind of need to do that because you need to figure out, okay, how does this work?
Agreed.
How do I feel doing this? Then you can, after that first year, maybe 6 months in, you say, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. This is where I'm at. This is where this works for me, So I'm excited to see her fighting just as much as I am in the forms divisions. So
she does have a fighting style that I think will translate well, you know?
I agree.
And she's got a skill set where if you've never seen her fight before, when you see her getting ready to fight, you see her warming up, you think you know it all about what she's going to do because she has a style, she has a cadence, she has a talent ability where you see 5 seconds, you think you've seen it all because her like body type and the way that she moves and kicks and performs, for the most part, you have seen it all. But she does have another skill set to where she can do different things. Okay, I'm dancing around it. She stands like she's just gonna kick. Right, because she's so long and tall comparatively to some of the other fighters in her division. Right, and she's got a kicking ability and skill style that you're like, I've seen this 100 times. Right, but she actually is she's multifaceted. So that's why I say I think her skill set's going to translate well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to me, those women's divisions, the adult women's division, that's what I'm excited to see. There's so many females that move up. Alice Gross, Avery Presley, Pia, what's her name? Just a young lady from freestyle that moved up. There's a lot of ones that just moved up, but you also have Andrea, you have Caitlin, you got Haley, you got so many great martial arts. You got Melina, you got so many great martial arts that are there. Amber, so it's going to be exciting, that female side. And I just think the male side, the divisions are just going to be humongous and stacked. And again, for me as a competitor, I'm excited to see these new guys moving up in the division. Also seeing, here's one thing I'm super happy of and proud of, is that how big the Korean Challenge divisions are. Okay. So again, it's showing that making this next step was a big deal. I mean, there are some of these divisions that Korean Challenge is like into the 20s, 19, 20, 21 competitors. And that's showing that making it a NASCA event was a big deal. A NASCA raid event was a big deal. You also have, the AAU guys coming in. You also have a lot of new competitors come in. So it's going to be exciting. So I'm happy for that and proud of that. And
you should be.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an eventful weekend. I know my Friday is going to be insane. Actually, Thursday, Friday is going to be insane. I get off the plane. I think maybe I run right down, start doing some lessons, do demo practice, do another lesson, and then we got the NASCA banquet that night. And then you know what? 9:00 demo, 10:30 Korean Challenge. What is it? 2:00 I think is our senior division. So yeah, so maybe I'll be done by 3:00, which would be great, and then I can go around and coach and watch and cheer for everybody. it's going to be crazy,
That
man.
sounds
I'm so
exhausting.
yeah, I know it's going to be nuts. Also, it's cool. My instructor, Johnny Watkins, is going to be flying with me, so he's going to come and compete as well in the 60+ divisions, and he's
Wow.
excited about that. So yeah,
All right,
and
Jeff, I gotta go back. I gotta go back a minute. So when
Yep.
you were talking about the Korean challenge, I gotta go back. I gotta touch on something
okay,
because every time we start hearing more and more people getting into the Korean challenge and it's just becoming a more positive thing that people like, it just brings you right back to what I told you before. There was one key moment that was either going to be the birth or the death of this thing. And it was your performance at the 2022 Diamond Nationals when you did Moon Moo.
yeah,
That one singular moment, that moment was that was the catalyst for this
Yeah.
whole Taekwondo movement right there. It was because before that moment, it was just words.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And honestly, I know right after that was when Greg Ruth and I had that conversation. And that's where it sparked from there. And I'm doing a Korean challenge. That's what he said. I want Jeff Doss and others like that on my stage doing that. I want to see more than just, and honestly, it became, hey, we want to see more than Gay Beck. Hey, we want to see more than that was the thing. Hey, there are so many beautiful parts of this style. And again, this weekend was really cool to be. I was at John Chung's tournament, and I didn't compete. I was judging, and just the respect that I got from fellow martial artists. I'm sitting next to Chris Ripoll the whole weekend, and he's asking me advice on things and asking me what I thought about this and how do I see this, and feeling very like respected as someone who I looked up to as a kid. Like I'm seeing, I think 95, I'm at his world title fight and watching him defend his Waco Pro title, like things like that. They're just
So cool.
sick. And I'm sitting there and he's asking me for advice on things, or we're watching a competitor. It's like, do you think you could take this person and take them to the next level? I was like, well, yeah, you're right. He does have a lot of potential, so it's really cool for that. And then seeing someone like Mike Simmons, who, I asked, hey, like he just gave me a lot of praise for being someone to help his style, the style that he does. And, I just messaged him and said, hey, just me, I'm still a kid. I'm still in a lot of ways looking up to these other people and saying, hey, what forms do you think would be great for me to do? And he's like, why are you asking me? He's like, it's very honorable that you did that, but you've done so much for our art. And, and the thing is like, you make the form, so I really appreciate that. And so none of that is like, I just take that all very seriously, the praise. And because again, like you guys know, I'm still that kid who's just would stay up, couldn't go to sleep the night of the Battle of Atlantis because I was going to, get to meet and get an autograph from Carmichael Simon and John Valera and Kim Do, and so to be in that room with those people, and someone like Rita Hundley, who was one of the most best fighters in the 80s and a DMV legend, who just has to get a picture with me every time we're there. And it's just things like that,
That's freaking cool.
And then this is a weird thing. I didn't even share this.
All right.
Helen, did I send you this? Helen Chung, who I actually didn't get to see, she sent me a picture with my dentist. Okay.
You did send me that.
Yeah, I sent you that. And so Helen Chung went down to Florida to visit her best friend and meet the guy that she's dating. Well, the guy she's dating is my dentist as a child. All right. And they start saying, where are you from? And he said this, and she said that I think the last time I was there was maybe I've been there for a karate term. It's like, oh, you've done martial arts? Do you know Jeff Doss? And then they take a picture and I get it.
You can't even make that.
I know, it's crazy. And then I didn't get to see her this weekend to laugh about that. But
Well, and the
'cause
other thing is like it's because listen, I'm not bringing any news here. You ain't from the largest town in the world.
no, I'm not. Not, not at all. Not at all. So it was just wild, right? So again, wanted to say this before we congrats to everyone on another great John Chung World Cup. They did a great job. Was really cool to see, just so many different people. Got to talk to Jotty, got to, like I said, talk to Chris Rapog, of course, Sean Elliott, Gina Thornton. So many great competitors were there supporting with their students, friends, and yeah, it was pretty cool to see. Congrats to my student Lexi, who won both her grands. Also, congrats to Axel, both guys from Elixon Martial Arts that won the Forms Grands there. And then, yeah, man, the Duartes and I had the best Thai food. Oh, my God.
Oh
The
man.
best Thai food. It was
I love
good.
myself some
And I
Thai
tell
food.
you what, one of the best things about judging at John Chung's tournament is the food you get as a judge. Okay, so we get
What
we
would you
get
get?
we get little bento boxes, all right, with some rice and some kimchi and some beef, and I mean just all kinds of great Korean food that they do, and a some dumplings. I mean, just amazing, right? So it's going to be great.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I sent that to Shelly, and Shelly's like, "What do you think? Maybe we can get them to come down and just bring the food." I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, they would probably come down and support as well." It's like, "Yeah, but come on, we need all of that." Like, it's true. So yeah. So great event, lots of fun. Congrats to everyone there. Was cool to just get back to judging, man. It's been a little bit. I know I'll be doing a lot more.
Whoa, cool to get back to judging. Leaning on that. Because I think
Well,
there's not many people that would say that.
that's true. That's true. I mean, there was some pressure with it, but I know for me, as again we've talked about in past weeks, getting back to promoting. And again, here's first flyer out of Grand Slam Open Nationals. That is part of it, right? Going out there, supporting each other, doing everything. And so that was a fun thing to be able to do that this weekend. Alex. Oh,
Oh, Troy, this is actually Troy. You've been in my basement before. This is the other fireplace. So
The other
I got one down here. That's what this is, a church
All right.
basement.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. One more thing. What is this?
Love that. Isn't that great?
Oh my God.
So here's some context. So when Jefferson was on here, he goes, "Hey, I uploaded my pictures and videos," and I'm like, "What do you mean you uploaded pictures and videos?" We didn't know that there was a feature where you could do that. So I'm like, "Oh, I got a picture for you." This is when I was DJing an '80s party while I had to dress up as Prince, and when I say had to, it's because I got to.
It's gots to. That was fun, dude. Awesome. Well, all right, guys. This has been a great show. And get ready tomorrow. I don't want to say in the morning, but I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon. Check out some I'll just say it, some Revolution news that will be coming out. And then we'll see everyone at AKA.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.